doing different sides. I'm doing different desserts.
Part of Chris's family is coming over to your house on Friday?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Will Chris be coming over on Friday?
No.
Okay.
No.
How does that work when you have younger kids? You guys get holidays. Like Shannon, you said that you don't have the kids on Thanksgiving this year?
I don't have them for dinner this year. So we do every other Thanksgiving. I had them last year. Andrew has them this year. But I'll see them in the morning for brunch and the parade, which is like my family's tradition every year, no matter what.
How do you do the custody thing, Spike? How has that worked?
We leave it mostly up to the teenage kids to decide where they want to be when, and they're very good about sharing the time. But there's certain traditions. Chris always has her family come up for Thanksgiving, so I left that alone. Give her Thanksgiving, and I'll work around it. And we always did Christmas Eve at her mom's and Christmas Day at my parents', so we'll do that. We'll continue to do that. Like the four of us are flying to Philadelphia together, and then I'll drive Chris and the girls to her mom's, drop them off, and I'll go stay at my parents'. So the kids will still do the same typical days at each house. It's just Chris and I will be staying separately at our parents' houses.
I think that's the one nice thing divorce actually prepares you for when you're a child of divorce is like going back and forth between houses on holidays. For when you're in that like dating or early marriage stage and you're going back and forth between families, you really learn how to manage your time and your expectations for the holidays.
All my parents' divorce has taught me around the holidays is that I'm looking for someone who has parents who are together so I can ditch my entire family and not have to do the picking.
But being a child of divorce, dating a child of divorce, and then having to go to 4 Thanksgivings in one day is insane.
Yeah, because my ex's parents were divorced, so eventually you had to put your foot down. When you have kids, it's cruel to toddlers and infants to try and bring them house to house to house. So you finally get the excuse of kids to put your foot down and say, we're going to one place, this year it's yours. Or we just stay at home, do our thing, and then you make everybody come to you if you want to come, that's fine.
Doing. Yeah, that's what we had to do.
Although it seems like it'd be fun to be able to eat many meals. Like you get to eat a bunch of them.
People get mad and they're like, why aren't you eating here? Did they have better food?
Yeah.
Didn't you stay 3 hours there? You've only been here for 2.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard that.
It's like, oh my gosh.
I don't know what I would do. If Chelsea and I weren't together, we got divorced, I would have a really hard time because I have such FOMO. And if I didn't have the kids, like they chose to be at their mom's, I would be like really fucked up. Like I would hope that we would at least be friends enough that she would still invite me and that I could eat over there.
Yeah.
But and then the whole preparation thing, I would have just ordered it. I would have just bought a meal at Kroger or something like that, and they could come over. Oh, you almost feel? Do you feel pressure, Spike, that you have to do that? What you're doing because this is the first of times.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were separated last Thanksgiving, but I didn't do a big dinner. What did you do? I just had my kids and my brother over. So and then some of Chris's family came over in the morning to say hi, and we watched the Lions game while she was cooking her big meal. I think I did Chris a favor by getting all the kids out of the house so she can prep and I can have them all make a mess of my place.
I have like the greatest Thanksgiving planned, and it feels bad because I feel bad to anybody that's been to our house for a prior Thanksgiving, but I like it's just the 5 of us. And I keep mentioning this, but I told Chelsea that I feel it's going to be what we probably have needed for the longest time in our family, because there was a while there where one of the things in my therapy sessions that my therapist brought up to me was, you never do one-on-one stuff with Chelsea as, your spouse. You'll invite other couples, or you guys both invite other couples. And then family-wise, our traditions have branched out that we're like the wasn't it the Pilgrims that did that? Where the Pilgrims invited okay.
It was all a lie. So whatever you remember, it was wrong anyway. Don't worry.
Are they? Is that really?
Okay.
I'm not believing that it is a lie.
They whitewashed everything.
I'm still standing by what I learned in school.
So much from my sister. No, it was bullshit. All of it.
Tell your sister her woke ways are not coming into my house right now.
You mean the truth?
Yeah.
But Mojo, you're lucky because
the Pilgrims invited everybody, and they were nice to them, and they ate turkey.
And then they killed them.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? She can go live on a ranch somewhere or whatever and do her protesting.
Yeah.
Not at my house on Thanksgiving.
Let me just say this: those Native Americans didn't have to watch the Lions lose.
That's true.
See,
well,
I don't know.
That's true. But we would invite everybody to our house, and then it came to a point where by the end of the night, I never even talked to my family. Like I never had a conversation with my kids. And then they go home to school or go back to school and we're not having a conversation. So I am excited about this.
Can I give you one piece of advice as the parent of kids who live not at home?
Yes.
It is the thing I dread most about going home. Do not make them feel guilty for leaving. Do not, when they leave.
For leaving.
I wish you could. Why aren't you staying longer? Why are you leaving so early? I wish you could stay for more time. Blah, blah, blah. Do not make them feel guilty for leaving. It is the thing I dread most when I go home is leaving and having my family like barrage me with questions.
Meaning
about
you
why
want to
I'm
go
leaving.
while you're home. You want to go see friends in town and stuff like that.
Or when I'm leaving like town.
Oh,
to
you
come
just
back
mean
to
after the
Michigan.
weekend.
But every time I go home, do you
good
have
advice.
to leave? Do you have to go? If I can give anyone a piece of advice for their kids who they don't see all the time, do not make them feel guilty for going and having their own life.
But I will tell you this: I booked the flight, so
yeah,
they're leaving when I
leave. Get out.
They're leaving when it showed me it was the cheapest fare on Delta. So that's when they're leaving. They might have to leave in the middle of our goddamn dinner, so to make it the cheapest one. But that's actually a very good point, though, on that. Don't do that.
When you hear all this, Mojo, you're realizing like you're lucky because everything we've just described, you kind of have escaped, not just because of not having the divorced families and multiple homes, but also for the better part of your 25-year radio career, you've been away from family. So you didn't have to feel the pressure of going to sister's house, mom's house, everybody's houses.
We did that a couple of times, and then after a while, it was the kids don't want. So let me tell you the biggest reason why we're celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas in Detroit, because we will go somewhere, either to Chelsea's family in Arizona to a warmer destination, or now that Joe's down in Tampa, we would go down to Tampa. The kids want that. Like we asked our kids and did a vote, and only one kid voted no, and that was the Florida kid who didn't want to come to the cold weather. But Jacob and Luke both said we want Thanksgiving at home. Even though we offered to do Thanksgiving in Chicago, so Jacob didn't have to go anywhere, and we would have it there. He wants to come home and be in his own, bed. And Luke wants to open Christmas gifts in his bed. I think I've talked to you, Spike, numerous times about Natalie and Nicole, and I'm like, I know that their tradition has always been to go to, your families and Chris's family, but my kids hated going to Chelsea's families in Arizona, because they want to be in their house when they open up their Christmas
We
gifts.
did an 8 or 9 year stretch where we didn't. We stayed in Michigan, and I wanted the tradition of the kids coming down the steps in their own home, and Santa knew where we lived. And I just wanted to have that tradition of all of us together for Christmas. Yeah. But then as the parents get older, then you start to regress back to the old tradition, because I know how important it is to my parents who are now in their 70s and 80s for the grandparents to see the kids more often, and they can't travel as much. So we all try and get back and visit them more often, especially now that they've been locked in a house for 2 years without seeing anybody.
Kill your parents off, and you don't have to do that, by the way, because my parents are dead.
Did you kill them off yourself?
I killed them off. I did.
The truth comes
Actually,
out.
the fucking Pilgrims killed them
see?
off. They got rid of them. So, anybody not thankful for this year? I'm thankful that this year is almost over. I'm actually very thankful of that. Even though the year flew by too fast.
It really did.
But I'm kind of happy. I always feel like one more day and we're a day closer, hopefully, to maybe everything being better, the world being better. Anybody else?
No, I think we should end on kill
the fucking pilgrims killed my family. All right.
Let's keep it morbid.
We'll end on that one. Happy Thanksgiving, you all. Happy Thanksgiving. We're all going to Megan's house where she's cooking for all of us.
See you at 2:00